Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com, and I'm excited because I'm going to share 5 really fun ways to create some geode cards using the new stencil from Maker Forte. Now that heart one was one they released last month. It is super awesome, and this is the new one that they released that will fit on a front of an A2 size card. The heart one is a little bit larger, so you can make larger cards or you can do half of them. And I'm showing you here my fingernails. This is how excited I've been to create these cards. I painted my nails to match, and look at this new notebook I just recently got. It has all of these beautiful ideas in it. Look at the different colors. And I have always been a little bit intrigued by geodes and crystals, amethysts, and things like that. And so I think it all stems from when I was a kid. And my mom took me to this rock shop, and there were these round rocks. They were not very pretty, but she said, pick one out and they will cut it open for you. And so I did. And when they cut it open on the inside, it was something beautiful like this. Ever since then, I've loved them. Today, I'm going to create a whole bunch of geode cards and show you and give you some ideas. And we're just going to have a little bit of fun. So this is how they come. They come taped together just like this. And so you'll just have to untape them. Today I'm going to use my Make Art Station to make these, but you can of course spray them with pixie spray. And I think that might be just a little bit easier because you're going to see why in just a minute. But I really like the ease of just moving these magnets and being able to change it out at any time. I'm going to be using my domed blending tools from scrapbook.com, and I'm going to start with a whole bunch of purples. I just pulled out all my Distress Oxide inks that I have in purples because I have more purple Distress Oxide than I do Distress ink. So I thought I would give this a try, and I'm just going to put some repositionable adhesive on that center piece there to cover up what I just inked. And then I'm going to take the larger piece here, and you can see it's really easy to build these up. And I'm going to make this one a little bit darker than the first one. Now here's where you're going to see where I struggled just a touch because that middle centerpiece kept moving on me. The repositionable adhesive wouldn't stick. The magnet didn't want to keep it in place. So I'm just going with it, right? Just making it work. It worked a little easier on the larger pieces since there was more to hold down and I wasn't bumping into it with my blending tool. So now I'm going to go in with a little darker of a purple. This one's a little bit different. This one is Victorian Velvet, I believe. I started out with the milled lavender, and I'm just going to keep going on just like this to build it up. These are so easy to build, so fun, and you can do any colors you want. I made some today in purples, grays, and blues, and I love how they all turned out. So I'm just going to finish doing this one here and inking on that darker purple. And then I'm going to add a little bit of black soot around the edges just to give it more depth and to make it look a little more like the pictures. And I think that really makes it pop a little bit more. Now, as you're playing around, you're going to find what works best for you and what you like the best. And here's some more inspiration. I got these at the gem show. I always go to the gem show almost every year. I haven't been in the last couple of years because, well, obviously there's been things going on. But I used to go every single year for probably the last 25 years. So I always have beautiful inspiration around me. So this is why I love this so much. So here's my first tip. Take some glue and dot it around and then add some glitter. This is the Sugar Sparkle Glitter from Maker Forte, and this is a clear glitter, so pretty, and it adds just a little bit of sparkle around the edges and to the center. And I kept on going with the glitter. I'm going to go ahead and add some silver and some purple glitter as well, just using the exact same techniques. And what I found was the liquid adhesive you use does matter. So I just used my same liquid adhesive, but then I got smart. See here, I found my small Nuvo glue pen. If you have a smaller glue pen, I think it works better for this technique. It looks better with the little crystals. For this second one, I am going to just stamp on my sentiment here in the center. It says, happy birthday. May your day be as beautiful as you. Then I'm going to cut it down and use some glitter paper around the edges. So I brought out all my purples here and I decided to go ahead with the lighter purple because I thought it really brought out those colors. And then I'm going to add these purple gems. These are the purple Coronation gems from Maker Forte. It's so pretty to add just a little bit of sparkle to your geode cards just like this. So for the one that we did the glitter on, I am going to go ahead and add a sentiment strip label using some of these beautiful papers. They've got some really pretty ones here, and from this stamp set, I'm going to use the stamp that says, "You are beautiful." And then I'll just cut out a sentiment strip. Now Maker Forte has some simple sayings that are gem related. So they say things like, "You're a gem," and things like that. But I forgot to pick that up. So if you head over there, I'm going to link that in the comments below so you can go check it out. But I think I need to go order that. I can't believe I forgot to do that. Anyway, all those simple sentiment sayings are beautiful and they match perfectly with these geode stencils, and you can foil them also. And I thought foil would be a really pretty thing to add to a sentiment. For this one, I'm going to add some Distress Oxide around the edges. I'm going to add a light blue and then I'll go in with a little bit darker of a color so this really sings. So here I just did the blue and now I'm taking black soot. I didn't add any extra ink. I'm just using what's already on there just to make it pop a little bit more. Now it's time to add some more shininess to these cards. This is the Deco foil pen, and this is used for adding foil to your cards. So all you do is you take the pen and you have to start it when it's brand new. You have to press down until that, it's kind of like glue, comes out. And then it's ready to put onto your project just like this. So I'm just drawing around one of those fissure lines there. Then you let it dry. So this, when it's dry, it becomes tacky. So I'm going to set that aside. Can you kind of see that there? Yeah, just like that. I'm going to set that aside and then I'm going to take this Nuvo glue pen, and this is a very similar idea in that you just draw around the outside, and this also becomes tacky when dry. And I'm going to test out foil versus gilding flakes. So here's the foil. I had a couple of random pieces just floating around, and I have my Mink machine over to the right. I'm going to show you here, I'm putting it on a level 3. I found that I like this technique better when I run it through the Mink machine. It just, for me, it works better, but they say you can add this and burnish it on with a bone folder and it works just as well. But for me, the added heat really made it stick better, was more effective, in my opinion. But try it both ways, you know? So I'm going to run that through the Mink machine there, and that's just a piece of parchment paper. They sell these at Maker Forte as well if you need that. And then I take my bone folder and just kind of burnish that a little bit until it comes off kind of on its own. That's when you know it's stuck really well, and look how pretty that foil is. I love it. Now I have some extra foil here, but it's got plenty of foil left, so I'm going to set that aside because I can use that for another project. Now let's give the gilding flakes a try. I have a couple different colors of gilding flakes, gold and silver, and I thought the silver kind of matched better with the purple, kind of more cool. So we're going in with the silver here, and this glue pen has now dried, so it's ready to go. I'm just going to add some pieces and burnish them on with my fingers a little bit, and then I have a special tool that I like to use for gilding flakes to make this really work. And that's this Nuvo brush right here. It is just stiff enough. These bristles they're stiffer than regular brushes. So to get the excess of those gilding flakes off, I just kind of bristle that along and then I shake off the rest, and that really does help. So I made kind of a thick line on that first one. I'm going to go in now with a thinner line of the Nuvo glue, and then I'm just going to take the pieces I have sitting here on my workspace and put those along the center there. and we'll brush that off again. So you can see the difference between the thicker line and the thinner line, so it's nice that you have a choice of which one you want to do. Personally, I kind of like the thinner line myself. But look at that foil. Wow. So this is really fun to play around with. I loved it. My next idea for you is to use a gel press to get a really nice, interesting look. And I'm going to use this marble stamp by Syberia Designs and Maker Forte. And we're going to use this with the gel press. I've really been loving playing around with my gel press lately with Distress Oxide inks. They are so smooth and beautiful to work with. So I'm just putting 3 different colors of purple here, and then I'm going to smooth that out with my brayer, going from lightest to darkest, and then I'm going to go ahead and put that stamp over the top. I first added some of the pieces of the stencil so that I would get the marbling right in the center there, and I did that. There's the marble stamp set, excuse my messy hair. And then I'm going to pull from that and we'll see what we get. So this was not my favorite. I'm going to do this over again. Starting over with the ink, and then I'm going to brayer that down so it's nice and smooth. Put the stamp without using the stencil at all. We'll put that over the entire thing there, and then I'm going to pull from that. I'm using just regular cardstock here. I'm going to use the back of this one that I didn't love so much and pull that, and that turned out so pretty. Look at the soft marbling you get. It's so smooth when you do it with a gel press. Now you don't have to have a gel press. You can use that stamp just separately, stamp it down with a nice light color of ink, and then do it that way. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and ink on a geode using some gray inks. I'm going to start with weathered wood and go on through to build my geode. For this one, we're using my very next idea, which is mica flakes. I got a bunch of mica flakes from Michael's one day a really long time ago. If you're anything like me, you might have mica flakes in your stash that you haven't ever used. So I thought this might be fun to give this a try. First, I'm going to take my small, tiny Nuvo glue pen and put some dots around the edge, and I'm going to use the silver glitter on that. And then I'm going to attach some mica flakes to the center using some liquid adhesive. These mica flakes are a little bit silvery gold, so I thought they'd be really pretty with this geode here. And now I'm going to make some blue geodes, which I think turned out to be my favorite of all of them. I mean, I love the purple, but this blue really was beautiful. I'm just jumping ahead just a little bit since you've already seen how to create these beautiful geodes using these stencils. And I'm just using some chipped sapphire around the edges of this one to darken up those edges. Look how pretty this one turns out. It's really fun. So I created quite a few of those, and I'm going to show you my other ideas. This first one, I'm just testing some embossing powder to make sure that it doesn't stick. Before you use embossing powder on Distress Oxides, you do want to either heat set it or wait until it's all the way dry. And I'm taking a Versamarker here, which is a clear sticky ink. It's kind of like the Versamark, only in a pen form. And I am going to add some gold embossing powder. This is so beautiful with the embossing powder. I think this was another one of my favorites. I'll use my heat gun to heat set that, and look at how pretty this gold is with the blue. So beautiful. And on this last one, I am going to use some crushed glass flakes. These are kind of like sprinkles, but it's crushed glass. So it's really neat. There's lots of bigger sizes and smaller sizes. So I was just going to break a few of those up here and make that work. I got these at Michael's too a long time ago. But you could use silver glitter, or I actually like the silver sprinkles idea. Just use some liquid adhesive to pour that on, and I'm going to shake the excess off. Look how pretty that is. I like that one. So sparkly. In the interest of time, I finished putting these cards together off camera, and I'm going to show you how they all turned out. So here's the one with the glitter paper and those purple gems with the stamp in the middle. Here's the one with the glitter and the sentiment strip. I used some black around the edge there too. That's the Eclipse black cardstock. It's one of my favorite blacks. And then this one here is the one that we did with the foil. I used a stamp set from my son stamp set, You Are More Than We Ever Expected and Better Than We Ever Imagined. That's what I think about geodes too, when we cut open and reveal the inside. They're so beautiful. Here's that stamp set. This is the For My Son stamp set, and that I thought was a perfect sentiment for this one. So there's that one. And then for this one that we did the gilding flakes, this one we did the silver, and I used the Today is a New Day stamp, which came in the stamp set here. I'm going to show you. It's this stamp set from Syberia and Maker Forte, and I will link that below also. I think I used that same one for the happy birthday card as well. Here's the one we did with the silver mica, and I used the You Are Stronger Than You Think that came on the marble stamp set, the same marble that we did the background. So this has a lot of really beautiful sentiments as well. So I wanted to use that there. And I did a pink sentiment strip on that one and backed it with some black. And then this is the one with the crushed glass. I used a die cut that says I love you and added a few hearts, and look how sweet that one is. Super sweet. And then the last one was the one with the gold embossing, and I added some gold mica flakes to the center, and this small little thank you came from this same stamp set. I really needed a small sentiment to fit inside that geode there, and that worked perfectly. So you can see that this stamp set came from this set here, this lily set. I'll link everything below if you're interested, but I really enjoyed making all of these cards. I hope you enjoyed them too. I can't wait to get started making a few other colors. I know, I just can't stop. And these are so simple to make and beautiful. They turn out super fun. So give these a try. Maybe try some foil or adding some glass or glitter with a sentiment strip here. Try using the Deco foil pen to add foil. You can use that with or without a heat tool like a ink machine or a laminator. How about some glitter paper and some gems, or some mica flakes, or these beautiful gilding flakes, or embossing powder? There's so many different things you can do. Lots of ideas here. I hope I didn't overwhelm you with all the ideas. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. It really does help with YouTube, and I sure do appreciate all your comments as well. Let me know your favorite one here, and if you're going to give these a try. I would love to hear from you. We'll see you next time.